Perhaps you've noticed that the old school card prices are going crazy, but don't worry. You can still buy any card you want. You just have to sell your yacht, mortgage your house, and give away one of your kidneys. Wait, you can't do any of that? Welcome to our club. As you may have realized, the prices of the old school cards are really going crazy. And it hasn't been something that has started to happen in the past few weeks. It actually started around summer last year, 2020.
Tastes like bad, huh?
In summer of 2020, already some of the prices started going up. And this felt like, wow, these prices are crazy. 500 euros for some card, 600 euros for another one. And most of the time, those cards were not even used so often in our old school format. However, after December, this has increased a lot. It has been crazy. Something happened at the end of the year that started making all those prices to spike up. It made no sense anymore. I think it is time to address this elephant in the room. Although by now I don't think it's anymore an elephant. It's something like a huge whale in the middle of your living room, staring at you with those big eyes. But the most important thing is, what is going on with these prices and why are they becoming so expensive out of a sudden? And more importantly, what does this mean for us as players in the old school format? I think this could be the perfect time to actually call out to the old school community and ask for suggestions, ask for ideas, ask for solutions. There are several aspects that are very important to cover when it comes to these incredible high prices. The first one that we need to think about is what happens with new players that still don't own any of the big cards but were already planning on making some deck. What should they do? Should they just basically break their dreams and say, no, I don't want to play anymore this game because it became so expensive out of nowhere that it's just not fun anymore? I mean, not even about fun. It's not affordable anymore. It's crazy. The second aspect is those players who currently own, let's say, halfway of the cards that they wanted to have, and they are also halfway there, which means they're missing half of the deck. They were planning to buy those cards, and right now there is no foreseeable future when it looks like that they will be able to afford it. As a matter of fact, the things are going to get worse, not better. And I mean worse in terms of becoming so expensive that once again we cannot afford it. What should these people do? What should these players do when they have already invested in half of the cards and the other half is no longer available for them because it is completely out of reach, economically speaking? Another aspect of this is the old players who were actually owning at least one deck, and that's it. They are stuck. There's no way they can change decks anymore or try different strategies, because actually this is the deck that you have. Yes, it's very expensive nowadays, but it was not about that. It was never about that. It was about playing and having fun. And you have your deck, and now you can't have any other deck for the same reasons. It is so crazy to actually invest. Some decks are so different from one another that it's very difficult to actually reuse cards. Like, let's say, for example, in my case, I own the deck and I would very much like to try Atog. Could be one of the nemesis of the deck. It's one of the decks that just plays artifacts at the very, very beginning. It punishes your mana base. Basically, it's just the opposite of the deck. So I have to start purchasing copper tablets, Ankh of Mithras, I don't know, all of those artifacts that are extremely expensive nowadays. Before they were affordable, but now it's like, yeah, good luck with it. The other aspect of the prices going up and people not being able to afford new cards, it's basically the meta. The meta is now in danger because one of the most interesting things of a meta game, it's basically to innovate, try new strategies, change and tweak your decks. And so in order to afford those cards, you have to invest money again. And if nobody can ever change anymore the strategies that they are playing, or there are no new players warping the format with new ideas and new concepts, the meta will inevitably stagnate. That's a bit sad as well, because there are always new ways to find a strong strategy that hasn't been found yet or invented yet. Let's say I have in mind one black and white control deck, I'm working on a playlist, and this looks amazing. But if I can't afford the cards, at least the ones that I'm missing, then what's the point? Because the cards are unreachable. And having all of those perspectives in mind, and I'm pretty sure that you can find even more consequences of these prices spiking up so badly in the last few months. Why is this happening? And does any one of us know about it? I believe one of the main reasons why this is happening is because the cards of this game are no longer being purchased by players. They are not being purchased by having fun with them and making decks and play with them. It's mostly new speculators that are entering into the market. They just want to take profit out of this.
I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
They are looking at magic cards as an investment and no longer as a game, but as a collectible card game where if I buy many of these and then there are not so many copies because of course the number of prints are limited, then of course the prices will go up.
I did it for me. I liked it.
That's it, they make profit out of it, but in consequence, the whole market for the players is being disrupted. I have this theory, it feels like there is a mysterious dude, let's call it a mysterious dude. There is a mysterious dude who out of nowhere decided, hey, I want to make this market profitable, and I know there are many cards that people are playing. Those cards usually are rare, but more importantly, they are always being in demand because decks are using it very often. And basically, I'm going to go and buy all of those. And I'm going to decide that those cards that are really good, they should have at least a price of 1,000 euros. Of course, the consequence of this is that other cards that already costed around 1,000 euros, they have to go up in price. And so in consequence, other cards that were already expensive right now became insanely expensive. So to have an idea how this is happening, let's have a look at some examples. So the first and most mind-blowing increase in price is Time Twister. We all know that it just makes you shuffle your deck and draw 7 cards. This is an amazing effect, and we also know that people are playing it very often in Commander, and this could be the reason why the card is going up in price.
Now, say my name.
Commander.
You're goddamn right.
But you know, the prices right now, like just to have a look at the insane prices that are increasing, and I'm just talking about the unlimited version of Time Twister. This is insane. Like, who is going to afford this anymore? Like, if you're a player and you want to build up your deck, yeah, sure. I think I'm going to create right now an old school deck that has Time Twister in it. What about paying around 15,000 euros for it? I don't know, 10,000 euros? Why not? Sometimes you can see the card even for 25,000 euros. Are we serious? Like, this is no longer a player range for price range. This is just crazy. Blue mages are not going to be very happy about this. Another example is Wheel of Fortune. This is yet another Commander consequence for a draw 7 effect.
You're goddamn right.
Basically, either you have a Wheel of Fortune now, or you will dream about playing it, because it's also going crazy. The next one, for example, is Chaos Orb. Chaos Orb is a card that you need in your deck. I mean, it's an effect for colorless mana. It only costs 2 mana, and it basically destroys any permanent. Like, if you're skillful enough with your flip, and as long as that permanent cannot regenerate, that's it. I mean, also considering that nobody interrupts the effect with a disenchant or a shatter or something like this. But the most important thing is the card is so versatile. You want this card in each one of your decks. Like, it's like a must-have. Why wouldn't you have something like this? Now, if we are talking about the beta prices, it is no longer available. Like, it is no longer possible. And again, it's like, oh yeah, sure, I'm going to buy this card because I will use it in, oh my god, no way I can afford this. Overall, this is harming for sure the metagame and the players, the community. It's harming the old school community. Jusam Jin. Jusam Jin is another card that has gone crazy. Most of the usual suspects that were also expensive now are becoming out of range expensive. Why would I pay, I don't know, for a playset of Jusam Jin's 10,000 euros? Yeah, so let's go. Why not? Mind Twist is another unreachable card that has become unreachable because obviously other cards pumping up the prices to 1,000 euros are forcing the ones that were already expensive, like Mind Twist, to continue increasing. A Black Mage is going to definitely want to include it in their list, and right now, if you don't have it, it's going to be very difficult. To be honest, I've already given up on the dream of having my Power 9 as beta. I mean, this makes no sense. Balance. Balance is another one of those cards that were already reaching slowly 1,000 euros, and because of the recent pumps of 1,000 euros for other cards, then of course this one has been pushed even higher. I don't know. White mages are not going to be very happy about this. The Abyss. Now the thing is, a lot of decks, especially the deck, have started to have 2 copies of the Abyss, sometimes even an additional copy in the sideboard. This has increased the demand. The Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. This is yet another card that has become insanely expensive, and I'm not sure how many of you are actually using this card in any of your decks. You know, the ability to destroy a big bunch of creatures just because this is a very powerful effect. Now green mages are going to be very happy to know that this card is reaching insane prices. Swords to Plowshares. If you want to defend yourself against the usual suspects or any other creature that doesn't have protection from white, now you're going to have a worse time. Library of Alexandria. This is one of the cards that everybody wants to have one copy in the deck. Why? Because it's incredibly powerful. It is very powerful. Yeah, but now Library of Alexandria is not going to be so affordable. And of course, dual lands. Dual lands are going crazy right now. And I don't even want to talk about the beta versions. I've been using Revised my entire life. I believe it could have been a mistake that I didn't buy the beta versions of the dual lands back in the day. But hey, what can I do, you know, now? This is very annoying. After all, your mana base is what enables you to have certain colors in your deck. And if you cannot even afford the mana base, it doesn't matter if you actually have the cards or not. If you cannot provide mana for them, then there is no way that you can play the deck. And so dual lands right now going crazy is something terrible because it's one of the biggest factors that are going to contribute to the stagnation of the meta. And these are just some examples. I'm sure you can find more, especially in those cards that you really wanted to have and now it feels impossible. So where do we go from here? I think this could be the perfect time to actually call out to the old school community and ask for suggestions, ask for ideas, ask for solutions. Because while we still can try to enjoy our format, I believe this issue of the increasing prices is not going to go anywhere. It feels like it's going to continue to increase. And inevitably, it will make it impossible for us to continue playing or innovating or changing decks and so on and so on. I don't know. I think it's the right time for us as a community to start trying to talk about the topic, to start trying to find solutions, and to understand that this is not anymore about which cards do I own in my deck, but this is rather a topic of how many players can we have in one tournament? How many players can we have in our friends group? How many players can we have when the prices are so crazy? So I believe it is the right time to start talking about it, to start to find solutions.
So you do have a plan? Yeah, Mr. White! Yes, science!
So for example, one possible solution could be, what about finally embracing proxies? I'm not sure how many of you were doing this, but in my group, we were not yet doing this. It was very clear that anybody who wanted to proxy a card, it was definitely okay for us, especially if you want to test it before you actually purchase it, or you actually invest so much money in one card without knowing if this is going to be the right one for you. So what about embracing proxies? What about deciding, hey, from now on, we don't care if we own the cards. We're just playing among friends. We're just, I don't know, we just want to try. We want to enjoy the format. So why not having 4 or 5 decks that you just proxy out? The most important thing is to try and explore, to continue playing, to continue enjoy the format. So why not embracing proxies, but this time like all into proxies. Everything could be proxied and that's it. It doesn't matter if you own the card or not. Like, let's just all play along, play together and just have fun. Another solution could be, how about really considering to allow certain proxies, like for real, in tournaments. There could be a limited amount of proxies, or let's say Power 9 and certain cards that are completely unreachable. Let's agree on having them as proxies and nobody would blink an eye. So yeah, maybe one of the solutions is to start making tournaments that actually allow using proxies for specific cards that are completely out of reach. Like for example, I don't know, Library of Alexandria could be allowed to be proxied in tournaments, Power 9 probably as well, and yeah, from there on, see how the format flows. Another solution could be to create some sort of a point system for the proxies, where you basically have a limited amount of proxy points, and then when you go to a tournament, you can decide to spend those points into specific proxies. There are cases already, like in Old School Singleton, they are using the point system to prevent having too many powerful cards in the same deck. I believe looking at this solution and try to adapt it to manage the proxies could be something good. Another idea could be to start creating different formats, to set some sort of money limit or cap, where you say, listen, we have decided that the maximum amount of money that you should spend in one card should be 500 euros. And if that card is more expensive than this, it's not allowed in this tournament. This could completely create new metas and completely create, like, it's basically a new format. I don't know, from now, like from time to time, it could be also interesting to explore these kind of things. So I think my conclusion is that this is a mess and we have to do something about it. I don't think that just by not talking about the topic, anything is going to get better. I think it will get worse. But it is in our hands as players to find a way out and continue enjoying this amazing format altogether. After all, this is just a game, and we should remember the reasons why we started playing it. And I believe that if we find a solution that is aligned with those reasons, we can continue having fun together, regardless of the solution. So, the problem is in front of us, and the solution, it's up to us. So, what is it going to be?